More isn't always better. How to Thrive with Less on Your Plate. Written and published by MSC Boost. Chapter 1. The Power of Purposeful Priorities. It's easy to get caught up in the whirlwind of endless tasks, commitments, and responsibilities. We often find ourselves stretched thin, trying to juggle multiple roles and meet the expectations of others, leaving little time for the things that truly matter to us. However, the key to thriving in the midst of this chaos lies in identifying and focusing on our purposeful priorities. Purposeful priorities are the guiding lights that illuminate our path and give meaning to our lives. They are the values, goals, and aspirations that resonate deeply within us, reflecting our authentic selves. When we align our actions and decisions with these priorities, we experience a sense of fulfillment and contentment that goes beyond the fleeting satisfaction of crossing items off our to-do lists. To uncover your purposeful priorities, start by taking a step back and reflecting on what truly matters to you. What are the things that bring you joy, ignite your passion, and make you feel alive? These could be personal relationships, creative pursuits, professional ambitions, or contributions to your community. Take the time to explore your values and identify the areas of life that hold the greatest significance for you. Once you have a clear understanding of your purposeful priorities, the next step is to align your commitments and actions with them. This requires a conscious effort to evaluate the demands on your time and energy, and to make intentional choices about where to focus your attention. It may involve saying no to certain opportunities or invitations, even if they seem appealing on the surface, in order to create space for the things that truly matter. Aligning your commitments with your purposeful priorities doesn't mean neglecting your responsibilities or letting others down. Rather, it's about being selective and strategic in how you allocate your resources. It's about recognizing that you have a finite amount of time and energy, and choosing to invest them in the areas that will yield the greatest return in terms of personal fulfillment and impact. When you prioritize your purposeful priorities, you'll find that your life becomes more focused, purposeful, and satisfying. You'll experience a greater sense of control over your time and energy, and you'll be able to make meaningful progress towards your goals and aspirations. You'll also be better equipped to handle the inevitable challenges and setbacks that come your way, because you'll have a clear sense of what truly matters to you. Cultivating a focused life centered around your purposeful priorities requires discipline, mindfulness, and a willingness to let go of the non-essential. It may involve making difficult choices and facing discomfort in the short term, but the long-term benefits are immeasurable. When you align your actions with your values and goals, you'll experience a deeper sense of purpose, joy, and fulfillment in all areas of your life. The power of purposeful priorities lies in their ability to simplify and clarify our lives. By identifying what truly matters to us and aligning our actions accordingly, we can reduce the overwhelm and noise that often comes with trying to do too much. We can find greater meaning and satisfaction in our daily experiences, and we can make a more significant impact in the areas that are most important to us. Embracing the power of purposeful priorities is an ongoing journey, one that requires self-awareness, reflection, and a commitment to living intentionally. It's a process of continually evaluating our choices and making adjustments as needed in order to stay true to our values and goals. But the rewards of this journey are immeasurable: a life filled with purpose, passion, and fulfillment, even in the midst of life's challenges and demands. Chapter 2. Mastering the Art of Saying No. Saying no is a powerful skill that can transform your life by allowing you to focus on what truly matters. However, for many of us, declining invitations and requests can be a daunting task. We worry about disappointing others, damaging relationships, or missing out on opportunities. But learning to say no with grace and confidence is essential for reducing overwhelm and thriving with less on our plates. The fear of disappointing others often stems from a desire to be liked, accepted, and valued. We may feel guilty or selfish for putting our own needs first, or we may worry that saying no will lead to negative consequences. But it's important to recognize that saying yes to everything is not sustainable, and it can actually hinder our ability to show up fully in the areas that matter most. To overcome the fear of disappointing others, start by reframing your mindset. Recognize that saying no is not a rejection of the person making the request, but rather a way of honoring your own priorities and boundaries. It's about being honest and authentic, and trusting that the people who truly care about you will understand and respect your choices. When declining invitations or requests, it's important to do so gracefully and with kindness. This doesn't mean offering elaborate excuses or apologies, but rather being clear, direct, and respectful in your communication. You can express gratitude for the opportunity or invitation, while also being honest about your availability or capacity to take on additional commitments. One effective strategy for saying no is to offer an alternative or compromise. For example, if you're unable to attend a social event, you could suggest catching up with a person one-on-one at a later date. Or if you're asked to take on a project at work that doesn't align with your priorities, you could offer to contribute in a smaller or more focused way. Another key aspect of mastering the art of saying no is setting and maintaining healthy boundaries. This means being clear about what you are and are not willing to do, and communicating those boundaries consistently and respectfully. It may involve setting limits on your time, energy, or resources, and being firm in your commitment to protecting those limits. Setting boundaries can be challenging, especially if you're used to accommodating others or avoiding conflict. But it's important to remember that boundaries are not about being rigid or inflexible, but rather about creating a framework for healthy and sustainable relationships. When you're clear about your boundaries, you're better able to show up fully and authentically in your interactions with others. Mastering the art of saying no also requires practice and self-awareness. It's important to tune in to your own needs and desires, and to be honest with yourself about what you can realistically take on. This may involve learning to recognize the signs of overwhelm or burnout, and taking proactive steps to prevent them. It can also be helpful to have a few go-to phrases or scripts for saying no, so that you feel more prepared and confident in the moment. These might include statements like, "Thank you for thinking of me, but I'm not able to take that on right now," or "I appreciate the opportunity, but it doesn't align with my current priorities." Ultimately, mastering the art of saying no is about empowering yourself to live a life that is true to your values and goals. It's about recognizing that you have the right and the responsibility to make choices that support your well-being and success, even if those choices sometimes involve disappointing others. By learning to say no with grace and confidence, you can create more space in your life for the things that truly matter. You can reduce the stress and overwhelm that comes from taking on too much, and you can show up more fully and authentically in the areas where you choose to invest your time and energy. Mastering the art of saying no is a lifelong practice, but the benefits are well worth the effort. When you're able to decline invitations and requests that don't align with your priorities, you're better able to focus on what truly matters and to thrive with less on your plate. And that is a powerful and transformative skill indeed. Chapter 3. Decluttering your schedule. In the pursuit of a more focused and fulfilling life, decluttering your schedule is a crucial step. Just as physical clutter can create a sense of chaos and overwhelm in our homes, a cluttered schedule can leave us feeling scattered, stressed, and unable to focus on what truly matters. By taking the time to identify and eliminate non-essential tasks and commitments, we can create the space and clarity needed to thrive with less on our plates. A powerful tool for decluttering your schedule is conducting a time audit. This involves tracking how you spend your time over the course of a week or two, and then analyzing the results to identify patterns and areas for improvement. You may be surprised to discover how much time you're spending on activities that don't align with your priorities or bring you joy. When conducting a time audit, be as detailed and honest as possible. Write down how you spend each hour of the day, including work, sleep, meals, leisure activities, and any other commitments or responsibilities. Don't forget to include time spent on social media, watching television, or engaging in other forms of entertainment. Once you have a clear picture of how you're currently spending your time, take a step back and evaluate your findings. Look for areas where you're spending a disproportionate amount of time on activities that don't support your goals or values. These might include time wasters like mindlessly scrolling through social media, or commitments that you've taken on out of obligation rather than genuine interest. Next, make a list of the tasks and commitments that you've identified as non-essential. These might include volunteer roles that no longer inspire you, social events that drain your energy, or projects that have lost their relevance or importance. Be ruthless in your evaluation, and don't be afraid to let go of things that are no longer serving you. Of course, eliminating non-essential tasks and commitments is easier said than done. Many of us struggle with the fear of missing out FOMO or the guilt of letting others down. But it's important to remember that by saying no to the things that don't align with our priorities, we're creating space for the things that do. When decluttering your schedule, it's also important to create space for rest, reflection, and growth. In our fast-paced, achievement-oriented culture, it's easy to fall into the trap of believing that we need to be constantly busy or productive in order to be successful or worthy. But the truth is that taking time to recharge and reflect is essential for our well-being and creativity. Consider building regular periods of rest and reflection into your schedule. This might involve setting aside time each day for meditation, journaling, or simply sitting in silence. It might also involve taking regular breaks throughout the day to stretch, move your body, or connect with loved ones. In addition to creating space for rest and reflection, decluttering your schedule can also create opportunities for growth and learning. When we're not constantly rushing from one commitment to the next, we have the time and energy to explore new interests, develop new skills, and pursue our passions. Consider setting aside time each week for activities that challenge and inspire you. This might involve taking a class or workshop, reading a book on a topic that fascinates you, or engaging in a creative pursuit like writing, painting, or music. By investing in your own growth and development, you'll not only feel more fulfilled and energized, but you'll also be better equipped to show up fully in all areas of your life. Decluttering your schedule is an ongoing process, and it requires a willingness to be honest with yourself about what truly matters. It may involve some difficult conversations and tough choices, but the rewards are well worth the effort. When you create space in your life for the things that bring you joy, purpose, and fulfillment, you'll find that you're able to thrive with less on your plate. By conducting a time audit, eliminating non-essential tasks and commitments, creating space for rest and reflection, and investing in your own growth and development, you can declutter your schedule and create a life that is more focused, purposeful, and satisfying. And that is a powerful step towards thriving with less. Chapter 4. Cultivating mindfulness in a busy world. In the midst of our hectic lives, it's easy to get caught up in the constant chatter of our minds and the never-ending demands on our time and attention. We rush from one task to the next, rarely pausing to take a breath or appreciate the present moment. But cultivating mindfulness, the practice of being fully present and aware of our thoughts, feelings, and surroundings, is a powerful tool for reducing stress, enhancing well-being, and thriving with less on our plates. Mindfulness is about more than just meditation or yoga, although those can certainly be valuable practices. At its core, mindfulness is about bringing a quality of attention and awareness to everything we do, from the mundane tasks of daily life to the more significant challenges and opportunities we face. It's about learning to observe our thoughts and emotions without getting caught up in them, and to respond to the world around us with greater clarity, compassion, and intentionality. The benefits of mindfulness are well documented. Research has shown that regular mindfulness practice can reduce stress and anxiety, improve focus and concentration, enhance creativity and problem-solving skills, and even boost the immune system. But perhaps most importantly, mindfulness can help us cultivate a greater sense of presence, purpose, and connection in our lives. So, how can we incorporate mindfulness into our busy lives? Here are a few simple techniques to get started. Take mindful breaths. Throughout the day, take a few moments to pause and focus on your breath. Notice the sensation of the air moving in and out of your lungs, the rise and fall of your chest, and the feeling of your body relaxing. Even just a few deep, conscious breaths can help calm the mind and bring you back to the present moment. Practice mindful listening. When you're in conversation with others, make an effort to really listen to what they're saying, without getting distracted by your own thoughts or the urge to respond. Notice the tone of their voice, their facial expressions, and the emotions behind their words. By giving others our full attention, we create deeper, more meaningful connections. Engage in mindful activities. Choose an activity that you enjoy, whether it's cooking, gardening, or playing an instrument, and bring your full attention to it. Notice the sensations in your body, the textures and colors around you, and the thoughts and feelings that arise. By immersing yourself fully in the experience, you can find greater joy and fulfillment in even the simplest of tasks. Take mindful breaks. Throughout the day, take short breaks to step away from your work or other responsibilities and simply be present. Take a walk outside and notice the sights, sound, and smells around you. Stretch your body and feel the tension release. Or simply sit in silence and observe your thoughts and emotions without judgment. Cultivate mindful habits. Look for opportunities to bring mindfulness into your daily routines, such as eating, driving, or getting ready for bed. For example, when you're eating, take the time to savor each bite, noticing the flavors, textures, and aromas of your food. When you're driving, focus on the sensation of the steering wheel in your hands and the road ahead, rather than getting lost in thought. Of course, cultivating mindfulness is not always easy, especially in a world that is constantly vying for our attention. It takes practice, patience, and a willingness to let go of our habitual patterns of thinking and behaving. But the rewards are well worth the effort. When we cultivate mindfulness, we create a greater sense of spaciousness and clarity in our lives. We're better able to navigate the challenges and stresses that come our way, and to make choices that align with our deepest values and priorities. We're able to connect more deeply with others and with ourselves, and to find greater meaning and purpose in even the most ordinary moments. Mindfulness is not about escaping from the world or denying our responsibilities, but rather about engaging with life more fully and authentically. By bringing a quality of presence and awareness to everything we do, we can reduce the sense of overwhelm and busyness that so often plagues us, and create a life that is rich, fulfilling, and truly our own. The cultivation of mindfulness is a lifelong journey, but it begins with a single step: the decision to be present, here and now. By incorporating mindfulness practices into our daily lives, we can reduce stress and anxiety, enhance our well-being and resilience, and ultimately thrive with less on our plates. And that is a gift that we can give ourselves and the world around us each and every day. Chapter 5. The Joy of Single Tasking. We pride ourselves on our ability to do many things at once, believing that this is the key to success and efficiency. However, the truth is that multitasking is a myth, and it can actually hinder our ability to focus, perform at our best, and find joy in our work and life. Studies have shown that when we try to multitask, we're not actually doing multiple things simultaneously, but rather rapidly switching our attention between tasks. This constant shifting of focus comes at a cost. It drains our mental energy, increases our stress levels, and ultimately leads to poorer performance and more mistakes. In fact, research suggests that multitasking can decrease our productivity by as much as 40%, and that it can take us up to 25 minutes to regain our focus after an interruption. The alternative to multitasking is single tasking, the practice of focusing on one task at a time, with full presence and attention. When we single task, we give ourselves the opportunity to fully immerse ourselves in the task at hand, without the constant pull of other demands on our attention. We're able to bring our best selves to the work and to experience a sense of flow and engagement that is deeply satisfying and rewarding. Single tasking requires a shift in mindset and a willingness to let go of the belief that we need to be constantly busy and productive in order to be successful. It means prioritizing quality over quantity and recognizing that doing one thing well is often more valuable than doing many things poorly. It also means being intentional about how we structure our time and attention and creating an environment that supports focus and concentration. Here are some practical strategies for cultivating the joy of single tasking. Identify your most important tasks. Each day, take a few minutes to identify the one or two tasks that are most critical to your goals and priorities. These are the tasks that deserve your full attention and focus, and that will have the greatest impact on your success and well-being. Eliminate distractions. Create a distraction-free environment by turning off notifications on your phone and computer, closing unnecessary tabs and windows, and finding a quiet space to work. If you're working on a task that requires deep focus, consider using noise-canceling headphones or a white noise machine to block out external distractions. Break tasks into smaller chunks. If a task feels overwhelming or daunting, break it down into smaller, more manageable steps. This can help you stay focused and motivated, and can make the task feel less intimidating. Aim to work on each step for a set period of time, such as 25 minutes, before taking a short break. Practice mindfulness. Bring a sense of presence and awareness to each task, noticing any thoughts or distractions that arise without getting caught up in them. If your mind starts to wander, gently bring your attention back to the task at hand. Over time, this practice of mindfulness can help you develop greater focus and concentration. Celebrate your progress. Take time to acknowledge and celebrate your progress, no matter how small. Each completed task is a step towards your goals and priorities, and deserves to be recognized and appreciated. By focusing on your accomplishments rather than your to-do list, you can cultivate a greater sense of satisfaction and fulfillment in your work and life. Of course, single tasking is not always easy, especially in a world that is constantly pulling us in multiple directions. There will be times when interruptions and distractions are unavoidable, and when the demands on our time and attention feel overwhelming. But by making single tasking a priority and a practice, we can develop greater resilience and adaptability in the face of these challenges. Ultimately, the joy of single tasking comes from the sense of presence, purpose, and mastery that it cultivates. When we give ourselves fully to the task at hand, we tap into a deeper sense of engagement and flow, and we experience the satisfaction of a job well done. We're able to bring our best selves to our work and our relationships, and to create a life that is rich, fulfilling, and truly our own. Single tasking is not about perfection or rigidity, but rather about intention and choice. By choosing to focus on one thing at a time, we give ourselves the gift of presence and clarity, and we open ourselves up to the joy and fulfillment that comes from living and working with purpose and passion. And that is a gift that we can give ourselves and the world around us, each and every day. Chapter 6. Embracing the power of delegation. In our quest to thrive with less on our plates, we often overlook one of the most powerful tools at our disposal: delegation. Many of us struggle with the idea of letting go of control and entrusting others with important tasks and responsibilities. We may feel that we are the only ones capable of doing things right, or that it's faster and easier to just do everything ourselves. However, this mindset can quickly lead to burnout, overwhelm, and a sense of being stuck in a never-ending cycle of busyness. The truth is that delegation is not a sign of weakness or laziness, but rather a mark of effective leadership and self-awareness. When we delegate tasks to others, we free up our time and energy to focus on the things that truly require our unique skills and expertise. We also create opportunities for others to learn, grow, and take on new challenges, which can foster a sense of teamwork, trust, and shared purpose. Of course, delegation is not always easy. and it requires a certain level of skill and finesse. The first step is to identify the tasks and responsibilities that can be delegated to others. These may include routine or repetitive tasks that don't require your specific knowledge or expertise, as well as projects or initiatives that align with the strengths and interests of your team members. Once you've identified the tasks that can be delegated, the next step is to choose the right person for the job. This means taking into account not only their skills and experience, but also their workload, availability, and overall fit for the task at hand. It's important to have an open and honest conversation with the person you're delegating to, clearly outlining the expectations, deadlines, and any necessary resources or support. Effective delegation also requires a willingness to let go of control and trust in the abilities of others. This can be challenging, especially if you're used to being the one in charge and making all the decisions. However, micromanaging or constantly checking in on delegated tasks can actually undermine the very purpose of delegation, which is to free up your time and energy for other priorities. Instead, focus on setting clear expectations and providing the necessary guidance and support, while also giving your team members the autonomy and space to take ownership of their work. This may involve providing training or resources, as well as regular check-ins and feedback to ensure that everyone is on track and aligned with the overall goals and objectives. Another key aspect of effective delegation is communication. This means not only clearly conveying the tasks and expectations, but also being open to questions, concerns, and feedback from your team members. Encourage a culture of transparency and collaboration, where everyone feels comfortable speaking up and sharing their ideas and perspectives. It's also important to recognize and celebrate the successes and contributions of your team members. When you delegate tasks and responsibilities, you're not only lightening your own load, but also giving others the opportunity to shine and make a meaningful impact. Take the time to acknowledge and appreciate their efforts, and to provide ongoing support and development opportunities. Of course, delegation is not a one-size-fits-all solution, and there may be times when it's not appropriate or feasible to hand off certain tasks or responsibilities. However, by making delegation a regular part of your workflow and leadership style, you can create a more sustainable and effective way of working that benefits everyone involved. Delegation is a skill that takes practice and patience to master, but the benefits are well worth the effort. When you embrace the power of delegation, you not only create more space and clarity in your own life, but also empower others to step up and take on new challenges and opportunities. You foster a sense of shared purpose and collaboration, and create a more resilient and adaptable team that can weather any storm. The key is to approach delegation with a spirit of trust, empathy, and open-mindedness. Recognize that everyone has unique strengths and perspectives to bring to the table, and that by working together and supporting one another, we can achieve far more than we ever could alone. Delegation is not about giving up control or shirking responsibility, but rather about leveraging the collective power of our teams and communities to create something truly remarkable. When we delegate effectively, we not only lighten our own load and create more space for the things that truly matter, but also help others to grow, learn, and thrive. We build a culture of trust, collaboration, and shared success, and we open ourselves up to new possibilities and opportunities that we may never have seen before. And that is the true power of delegation, the ability to create something greater than ourselves, and to thrive together in a world of endless possibility. Chapter 7. Nurturing meaningful relationships. As we navigate the complexities of life and strive to thrive with less on our plates, it's easy to overlook the importance of nurturing meaningful relationships. In the pursuit of productivity and success, we may find ourselves sacrificing quality time with loved ones, neglecting our social connections, and feeling increasingly isolated and disconnected. However, the truth is that our relationships are one of the most valuable and essential aspects of our lives, and investing in them is crucial for our overall well-being and happiness. Meaningful relationships provide us with a sense of belonging, support, and connection that cannot be found elsewhere. They offer us a safe space to be ourselves, to share our joys and sorrows, and to grow and learn alongside others. When we prioritize these relationships and make them a central part of our lives, we create a rich tapestry of love, laughter, and shared experiences that sustain us through even the toughest of times. One of the key ways to nurture meaningful relationships is to prioritize quality time with loved ones. In a world that is constantly demanding our attention and energy, it can be all too easy to let our relationships fall by the wayside. We may find ourselves canceling plans, rushing through conversations, or simply not making the effort to connect with those who matter most to us. To combat this, it's important to be intentional about setting aside dedicated time for our relationships. This may mean scheduling regular date nights with a partner, planning weekly family dinners, or simply making a point to have a meaningful conversation with a friend each day. By carving out this time and space for connection, we send a powerful message to our loved ones that they are a priority in our lives. Another key aspect of nurturing meaningful relationships is cultivating a support system of like-minded individuals. As the saying goes, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. When we surround ourselves with people who share our values, interests, and goals, we create a powerful network of support and encouragement that can help us navigate even the toughest of challenges. This may mean seeking out new friendships and connections, joining clubs or groups that align with our passions, or simply being more intentional about the people we choose to spend our time with. By surrounding ourselves with positive, supportive individuals, we create a virtuous cycle of growth and connection that can uplift and inspire us in countless ways. Of course, nurturing meaningful relationships is not always easy, and it requires a certain level of vulnerability, empathy, and communication. We must be willing to open ourselves up to others, to share our thoughts and feelings honestly and authentically, and to listen with an open heart and mind. We must also be willing to have difficult conversations, to work through conflicts and misunderstandings, and to continually invest in the growth and development of our relationships. This may mean setting aside our own ego and desires at times, and putting the needs of others before our own. It may mean being willing to apologize when we've made a mistake, to forgive when we've been wronged, and to continually work towards deeper understanding and connection. It may also mean being willing to let go of relationships that are no longer serving us, and to make space for new connections that align with our values and goals. The key to nurturing meaningful relationships is to approach them with intention, authenticity, and love. When we make our relationships a priority, when we invest in them with our time, energy, and attention, we create a life that is rich in connection, purpose, and joy. We build a network of support and encouragement that can carry us through even the toughest of times, and we open ourselves up to a world of endless possibility and growth. Meaningful relationships are not a luxury or a nice to have, but rather an essential part of a thriving, fulfilling life. They provide us with the love, support, and connection that we need to navigate the ups and downs of life with grace and resilience. They remind us of our inherent worth and value, and they challenge us to be our best selves, each and every day. By nurturing our relationships with intention and care, we create a life that is rich in meaning, purpose, and connection. We build a world that is more compassionate, more loving, and more interconnected, one conversation and one connection at a time. And that is a gift that we can give ourselves and the world around us, each and every day. Chapter 8. Redefining success on your own terms. We may find ourselves chasing after goals and milestones that don't align with our deepest values and desires, simply because they are what we believe we should be pursuing. We may feel pressure to conform to societal expectations and norms, even if they don't resonate with who we are and what we want for our lives. However, true success is not a one-size-fits-all proposition. It is a deeply personal and individual concept that can only be defined by each of us, based on our own unique experiences, values, and aspirations. When we take the time to reflect on what success really means to us, we often find that it has little to do with external markers of achievement, and everything to do with the quality of our relationships, the impact we have on the world around us, and the sense of purpose and fulfillment we feel in our daily lives. Redefining success on our own terms requires a willingness to challenge societal pressures and expectations, and to chart our own course based on what truly matters to us. It means being honest with ourselves about our values, passions, and priorities, and making choices that align with those things, even if they go against the grain of what is considered normal or acceptable. This may mean pursuing a career path that is unconventional or risky, but that allows us to make a meaningful difference in the world. It may mean prioritizing time with family and friends over long hours at the office, or choosing to live a simpler, more sustainable lifestyle that allows us to focus on the things that bring us joy and fulfillment. It may also mean letting go of the need for external validation and approval, and instead trusting in our own inner wisdom and guidance. Crafting a personal definition of success requires a deep level of self-awareness and introspection. It means taking the time to reflect on our experiences, both positive and negative, and to identify the common threads that run through them. It means asking ourselves tough questions about what we truly want out of life, and what we are willing to sacrifice or let go of in order to achieve those things. This process can be challenging and uncomfortable at times, as it often requires us to confront our own limiting beliefs, fears, and doubts. We may need to let go of old stories and identities that no longer serve us, and to embrace new ways of thinking and being that align with our highest values and aspirations. We may also need to navigate difficult conversations and relationships, as we communicate our new definition of success to those around us and seek their support and understanding. However, the rewards of redefining success on our own terms are immeasurable. When we are living in alignment with our deepest values and desires, we experience a sense of purpose, passion, and fulfillment that cannot be found through external markers of achievement alone. We are able to approach challenges and setbacks with greater resilience and adaptability, knowing that we are staying true to ourselves and what matters most to us. Redefining success also allows us to celebrate our own unique journey and progress, rather than constantly comparing ourselves to others or striving for an arbitrary standard of perfection. We can find joy and meaning in the small, everyday moments of our lives, and appreciate the growth and learning that comes from both our successes and our failures. Success is not a destination or an endpoint, but rather an ongoing process of self-discovery, growth, and evolution. It is a journey that requires courage, vulnerability, and a willingness to step outside of our comfort zones and into the unknown. It is a path that is unique to each of us, and that can only be walked with intention, authenticity, and a deep sense of purpose. By redefining success on our own terms, we give ourselves permission to live a life that is truly our own, a life that is rich in meaning, connection, and joy. We become the authors of our own stories and the creators of our own destinies. And that is a kind of success that cannot be measured by any external standard, but only by the depth of our own hearts and the quality of our own lives. Chapter 9. Designing a Life of Intentional Simplicity. Throughout this book, we have explored the many ways in which simplifying our lives and reducing the clutter and complexity that often weighs us down can lead to greater joy, fulfillment, and purpose. We have examined the power of purposeful priorities, the art of saying no, the benefits of decluttering our schedules, the importance of cultivating mindfulness, the joy of single tasking, the value of delegation, the significance of nurturing meaningful relationships, and the freedom that comes from redefining success on our own terms. Now, as we come to the end of this journey, the invitation is to take all of these lessons and insights and weave them together into a cohesive and intentional approach to living with less. This is the essence of designing a life of intentional simplicity, a life that is characterized by clarity, focus, and alignment with our deepest values and desires. Designing a life of intentional simplicity begins with a willingness to let go of the things that no longer serve us, and to create space for the things that truly matter. This may mean releasing old habits, beliefs, and patterns that are no longer aligned with who we are and who we want to become. It may mean saying goodbye to relationships, commitments, and possessions that are draining our energy and resources, and making room for new opportunities and experiences that light us up and bring us joy. At the same time, designing a life of intentional simplicity requires a commitment to being present and engaged in the moment, and to approaching each day with a sense of purpose and intention. This means setting clear priorities and boundaries, and making conscious choices about how we spend our time, energy, and attention. It means cultivating a sense of mindfulness and awareness, and learning to respond to the challenges and opportunities of life with grace, resilience, and adaptability. One of the key aspects of designing a life of intentional simplicity is creating a personalized plan for maintaining a simplified life. This plan will look different for each of us, depending on our unique circumstances, values, and goals. However, there are some common elements that can be helpful to consider as we craft our own approach to living with less. Some of these elements may include establishing regular practices for decluttering and simplifying our physical spaces, such as committing to a daily or weekly purge of unnecessary items or implementing a one-in, one-out policy for new purchases. It may also involve setting aside dedicated time for self-care and reflection, such as a morning meditation practice or a weekly nature walk, to help us stay grounded and centered amidst the busyness of life. Other elements of a personalized plan for maintaining a simplified life may include setting clear boundaries around our time and commitments, such as learning to say no to requests that don't align with our priorities or delegating tasks that can be handled by others. It may also involve cultivating a support system of like-minded individuals who share our values and can offer encouragement and accountability as we navigate the challenges and opportunities of living with less. The goal of designing a life of intentional simplicity is not to achieve some kind of perfection or to live a life that is completely free from stress, challenges, or complexity. Rather, it is to create a life that is rich in meaning, purpose, and connection, and that allows us to show up as our best selves in service of the things that matter most to us. This is a lifelong journey, and one that requires patience, persistence, and a willingness to embrace the inevitable ups and downs along the way. There will be times when we stumble or fall back into old patterns, and that is okay. The key is to approach each moment with compassion and curiosity, and to use our missteps as opportunities for learning and growth. As we design our lives of intentional simplicity, we may find that we experience a newfound sense of freedom and lightness. We may feel more energized, creative, and inspired, and more able to show up fully and authentically in our relationships and endeavors. We may also find that we have more time, space, and resources to devote to the things that truly matter to us, whether that is pursuing a passion project, volunteering in our community, or simply savoring the simple joys of everyday life. Designing a life of intentional simplicity is a courageous and transformative act. It requires us to be honest with ourselves about what we truly want and need, and to let go of the things that are holding us back from living our best lives. It invites us to step into a new way of being and relating to the world around us, one that is characterized by presence, purpose, and joy. As we embark on this journey of intentional simplicity, may we find the courage to let go of what no longer serves us, the clarity to focus on what truly matters, and the freedom to embrace a life that is rich in meaning, connection, and purpose. May we discover the beauty and power of living with less, and may we inspire others to do the same. And may we always remember that a life of intentional simplicity is not a destination, but a journey, one that is full of endless possibilities and opportunities for growth, transformation, and joy.